Hello and welcome back everybody. I hope you're all having a great day. Jean here with more Mars anomalies and artifacts. This is part 5 of my series I call the Grand Tour of Mars, and we're looking at a huge landmass called Aonia Terra. It's located in the southern mid-latitudes of Mars, and we'll have a look at these anomalies that I've discovered in this vast terrain. Just briefly, we had a look at Elysium Planitia on the equator, where we find rover Curiosity, inside lander, and the huge pyramids of a raptor zone. Then we had a look at Aonia Planitia, Aonia Terra, and Promethei Terra. So we're going to be checking out Aonia Terra. It's also in the southern mid-latitudes of Mars. Let's zoom in on it right there. Let's measure the terrain, see how vast it is. It's about 1,300 kilometers by about 1,300 kilometers. Okay, so let's start off with the first two anomalies up at the north. We've got another one of these strange parts, guys. Two pieces, straight line separating the two, and then a smaller object in the center joining the two objects. Check that out, guys. Looks like a saucer with a dome on it, parked underneath this rectangular part there. Check out the protrusion in the center of that piece. So we're only going to be looking at the most compelling evidence over here. I'm going to quickly go over these. Check this out. We've got another block with a hole in it. Got a rectangular hole in the top there with this strange narrow part sticking out of the opening. Then we've also got an ornate design to the top of this opening, like a donut shaped object there with a little sphere in it. More discs. Check out this part. A half a disc there and a weird object on the top, and it's got a hole right there in its center, folks. Could that be like an opening underneath it? Who knows what's going on there. Another one of these really thin artifacts. Check that out. It looks like sheet metal, and it's got a slight bend to it, like with so many others we've seen. More of these large parts with protrusions or knobs in their centers. Check these out. Two huge blocks. This one again, we've got a rounded design, strange rectangular part sticking out of it there as well. This is a very common design on Mars, in the southern mid-latitudes specifically. Two large parts separate by a straight line, and a small part connecting the two. And we see that pattern often on Mars as well. Check out this T-shaped object over here, lying on top of this smaller block underneath. It's also got a hollowed out surface on the top, parallel bevels on that one, and then another dome shaped object, folks. Check that one out. like we've got a hole in the center of this piece with this smaller part on top, and there's a small little spherical object just outside the opening on the surface there. More discs. This is so very common on Mars. Small triangular object on top of a larger rectangular part, and inevitably we always find one of the sides parallel with one of the sides of the larger object that's lying on. The arrangement of those blocks there in that straight row, it's also quite a common design feature on Mars. There's another disk. There's about 12 meters in diameter, multiple parts with smaller knobs or protrusions in their centers. Another one of those bent type of metallic sheet metal objects. Check out the right angle there. Then we've got a small cube lying on top of that part. Right, look at the two similar objects next to one another over there. Each one has a small dark spot in its center. That we see in Argaea planitia quite a bit as well. There's another triangular pattern in that design. Like a little triangle there, two dark spots or holes. Who knows what that is? Small hole in the center of this one, and next to it a little cube. The straight edges on this and a right angle there. This is a rather strange object as well. Long narrow part, and then it looks like it has like a rudder or a fin on the back of here, or a little winglet. Very smooth with well-defined edges on that thing. Another one of those, I call it an eye type of design, where we've got a small pupil in the center of a darker hollowed out area. That there looks like an eyelid or an eyebrow maybe even. Not that it is, folks, but there's so many of these designs. They are very compelling. 3 items in a straight row there, the spacing between them, and we see that often as well. Another rectangular opening in this part with this smaller piece sticking out of the opening over there. Found another one of these, I can't remember where. Check this out. We've got like a rectangular design at the back, and then this rounded part on the right, and it's hollowed out as well. And it's got a small little sphere there in the center. Again, it looks like an eye, or a depiction or a symbol of an eye. Another triangle in that design there. Look at the way those similar parts have been placed. That there has actually got a U shape to it. And that we see quite often on Mars as well, even in rover photographs. The C or the U shape, the number 5. It's weird. Another bright disk. This part over here, it's got 3 steps to it. And it's got a small hole there with something that fits into it to the left over here. What is this? It looks like a sculpted piece. Maybe even wreckage. It's got very smooth, flat surfaces on it. And then these right angles. Looks like a piece of plain wreckage. Look at that. This is in the shape of a padlock. But not that it is a padlock, folks. It's about 8 meters long. Look at the hollowed out part here in the center, and it looks like it's got a little hole there. Right angles to that hollowed out area there. And in the center of this piece, we've got that small noble protrusion. Okay, here we're looking at a rather weird thing. It's definitely elevated off the surface. It's on the edge of the straight part underneath it. Check that out. And this part on top of the disc is parallel with that edge of the larger part underneath it. This reminds me of a little craft. Not that it is a craft, folks. I'll show you another photograph that was taken of this area, and that object is still there. So it hasn't flown off or moved anywhere. I wonder if this is like an outpost, a radar type of installation, where we have the radar inside a covering. I've seen similar ones on Earth. Who knows what the heck that is? This we see quite often as well, where we have an object and a piece is bent, or it looks like it's bent over the top. That there looks like it could be an opening as well. Straight edge there on that side. Block with a hole right in its center there, folks. There's the other photograph. This one's very blurry, but you can see that disc-like object with the narrow part on top, and it's still parallel with the part underneath it. Partial hexagonal design that we see often as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides visible, and the one part here is hollowed out like a step to it. It's got a small hole in its center and a small square part just over the edge of that hole. Mars, the planet of geometry. One, two, three, four, 5 sides to that. Get the perfect symmetry and geometry in that. Get equal angles on those 2 sides. And down the center, 2 spherical objects. The hole on that. This looks like a toilet bowl. Not that it is, folks. It's just so weird, all these things. All we can do is speculate, right? Another stepped block over there. Look at the triangle. 3 similar objects placed in a triangular pattern. Very strange part. It's got 2 rectangular openings, or maybe these are supporting parts underneath. It's like an L shape there, and this one is pointing this way. Another hole with something sticking out of it. Rather weird object here. Rounded side to it. A part lying across it through the center over there. There's another disc. Got a triangular part on it. Pointing down to the back here, we've got a slot on the side of the disc, perpendicular to the triangle there. Let's see, anything else there? Let's go to the next side. This is a strange design as well. We've got 2 parallel parts on the top. Another one of these U or C shaped objects. Check at the slot, right angles there, and in that opening we've got a small ball that there's about 1.5 meters in diameter. Crescent shaped object, we've seen quite a couple of those on Mars as well, and this again looks like sheet metal. Get the straight edges and the right angle there. Maybe these are thin megalithic slabs. 2 discs, domes in their centers, and this one looks as if it's parked in an opening of a collapsed hangar or entranceway there. Check at the symmetry and geometry in those two. And these are in the same photograph, folks. What are the chances of that happening in nature? Small dome-like object on top of that. Another disc. It's got a hole in its center, and then what looks like a hatch open there to the left. Get this triangular part here, and a perfect hole in its center. Get the uniform depth to that hole. Wreckage or sculpted pieces, who knows what these are. This is rather unusual as well. 2 similar rectangular base structures there. This one's slightly elevated off the surface. It even looks like bent up sheet metal. It's got this part lying across the one underneath in a diagonal direction. Another one of these plectrum or pumpkin seed shaped objects lying across this one. Also basically through the diagonal. And that's it for this one, guys and girls. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. As always, do let me know in the comments below what you think of these anomalies. Always appreciate your opinion and analysis. We'll chat in the comments. To my new subscribers, thank you for joining the channel. Take care, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.